These trucks, not sure if a lot of you guys out there know it, but 11 to 16 trucks do use the CP4 injection pump that has issues. So on these trucks, the first thing I would do if I was going to buy one of these trucks and you were going to have it long term would be to revert back to a CP3 injection pump. And if you're not sure what that is, so the 01 to 2010 Duramaxes had a CP3 pump. So the style of the block hasn't really changed. These engines will take a CP3, so all you got to do is buy the kit and you can convert it. I know it sounds easy, it's not that easy, but it's a worthwhile upgrade, because if you put that pump on this truck, you're going to save the rest of the fuel system, because the injectors rarely fail on these trucks. What makes them fail is all the metal getting from the pump. Do that swap, that'll save you a lot of money. Another issue these trucks we see a lot of problems with, especially on tuned trucks, is head gasket problems. A lot of people will come in, man, I'm losing coolant, I can't figure it out, I don't know where it's going, I keep adding coolant. Well, let me show you something. You see this bottle right here? It's a 2-part reservoir. So if you're going to buy a truck, go run it hard and make sure, because this is something that'll get you. This cap is designed to hold up to 20 psi pressure. When it exceeds 20 psi, it comes from this side and dumps into this side. So if you go look at a truck and this side of the coolant reservoir is full and you keep losing coolant, you got a low coolant light on, I hate to tell you, but you probably got a blown head gasket. Definitely something to look for. Not a cheap job. It's a 30+ hour job, you know, just the labor side. That doesn't include parts, machining, gaskets, all that kind of stuff. So it's a very expensive job. So you don't want to buy a truck and pay all the money for it and instantly have to do this. So make sure you double check that. Another thing to check, just like all the other ones I've told you about, get the truck hot, pull the oil cap, and make sure that you don't have heavy amounts of smoke coming out of here. That would tell us we have a ring wear problem. Not a common issue with a Duramax, but it can be common if whoever owned it didn't change the oil properly and maintain the truck. So that's really the two biggest things on 11 to 16 Duramax, is the injection pump failures and the head gasket failures. Obviously all Duramaxes have issues with the water pumps leaking. That's a heavy job. So if you do have to do a head gasket job, change the water pump while you got the cab off the truck. It's going to save you a lot of money. And another thing you can also do when you got the cab off the truck is swap the injection pump. It'll save you a lot of money. So just a couple things you could do. That's pretty much the biggest common 3 things you're going to have on Duramax. They do have other small issues. A lot of it is maintenance. They do have issue with the turbos sticking on these trucks. You'll get codes. They don't normally show a lot of performance problems, but what they'll throw is a code basically telling you that turbo's stuck. And to get rid of that code and to make the computer happy, you're going to have to more than likely change the turbo, which is a pretty tough job on these two. They have some people that do them in cab. We don't do them in cab. We're going to pull the cab off. It's a much easier job, especially if you strip out one of the bolts or break off one of the bolts in the back of the turbo and one of the up pipes. You're going to have fun getting that out in cab. So we don't even take that. We take the time that the book pays and we pull the cab and do it right. It's a much cleaner job and we know we're going to get it done right. 11 to 16 trucks, transmission's still a 6-speed Allison. Great transmission. They don't have a whole lot of issues as long as you take care of them. These Allison 1000s from 01 all the way to 2016, they have a spin-on filter on the transmission. Change the spin-on filter and drain the fluid out of the pan and fill it back up. So I know a lot of you guys don't want to flush the transmission and whatnot. You don't have to flush it. Just maintain it. Change that little spin-on filter and drop the fluid out with the threaded plug, fill it back up. It's normally 7.5, 8 quarts, and that's going to help with longevity, I promise. That filter's there for a reason. It catches debris, so change it. The filter in the pan, you know, if you're looking at the heavy, medium, and all those Allisons in the book, most of the time they tell you don't change the in-pan filter unless you're doing a rebuild. So that's your choice if you want to change the in-pan filter, but for sure change the spin-on filter underneath the truck. So as far as the emissions controls on these trucks, we don't see a whole lot of problems with them. Sometimes we'll have a messed up DPF here and there, clogged up, things like that. But for the most part, the EGR coolers are pretty stout on these trucks. We don't see a lot of internal leaks with those. They're very strong. The EGR valves are really good. We don't see a lot of failures with that. So, I mean, other than the fuel system issues and the head gasket issues and water pumps and things like that, they're a pretty good, solid truck.